So we thank the creator of heaven and earth for that. So let us open up the book of 1 Kings. Chief Naphtali Ben Don was supposed to finish his portion, but what did he end off at last week, the verse? Is he here? I know we didn't execute Joab yet, right? Did we execute your man yet?
Yeah, they said we did, man.
We did?
They said y'all did. I ain't really with that.
Where did we end at last week? Did Shimei get executed yet?
No.
But I'm just saying, I need to know where we stopped at. 1 Kings chapter 2. All right, let's pick it up from verse 28. Let's go from there. So this is us continuing in the history of our forefathers. Chief Naphtali Ben Don was supposed to carry it and finish it this week, but he's not here. He was here earlier, but hopefully the Most High give me the understanding and the wisdom to be able to expound on it. Let us go.
1 Kings chapter 2, verse 28. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And the tidings came to Joab, for Joab had turned after Adoniah, though he turned not after Absalom. And Joab fled unto the tent of Jehovah and caught hold on the horns of the altar.
So Joab went after Adoniah. You see, Joab was very political. He figured that Adoniah was going to be king, as the brother presented last week, that Adoniah went out through the town proclaiming that he was going to be king of Israel. It was a political move. So in doing all of this, the Most High God, or Bathsheba, went to King David along with the prophet, which is Nathan at that time, and told him, listen, you made a promise to me that Solomon was going to be king. Right. But Adoniah had already went out there and started proclaiming himself to be king. So King David said, you know what? Get my horse, get my servants, get this guy, and make a proclamation all through the land that this is the new king in Israel, and then let him sit on my throne and let the people understand that this is the true king. So last week I believe we read when Adoniah came over to Bathsheba to ask for the Shunammite, I believe, right? And he came and when she came and she asked Solomon for Adoniah, he said, what next, the kingdom? Yes. And he had his own brother taken out of here, because that's a sly move. That was his father's wife. But David never went into her. So he's figuring, if I could angle this move right here, it's a form of disrespect of him taking his father's Isha. Right. Solomon said, off with his head. Right. We're not having that, not in this kingdom. First her, then the kingdom. Right. I'm not having that. That's going to be insurrection after a while. So at this point now, Joab sided with Adoniah. Now these are his cousins. Adoniah, Solomon, these are Joab's cousins, because Joab is David's nephew. So, but Joab was, he was a down by law soldier, but he did some wicked things in his lifetime, because he killed Amasa, who was the captain of the host at that point in time when David got tired of Joab. But the problem is, you see, when people have dirt on you, that's why you're not supposed to let people have stuff over your head. Because Joab had dirt on David. Right. Remember, he was the one that sent the letter through Uriah and said, put him in the hottest part of the battle. And when it gets to that hot point in the battle, back up off him. So Joab was a soldier to the end, but he was also a shyster, as they said. He was shysty. He would stab you in your back. And at this point right here, he's trying to angle himself with what he believes is going to be the strength. But he never checked with King David to show you that he was looking for position. You see, Joab was looking for a puppet. Adoniah wasn't a strong man like Joab. You see, if Absalom would have been king, it would have been different, because Absalom had a little bit more strength. But Joab would have been manipulating Adoniah. Adoniah couldn't do nothing with Joab. He couldn't do anything with Joab. So at this point, he's running into the horns of the altar, and he's holding on for dear life because now the judgment has been passed out on him. Let us go.
Verse 29. And it was told King Shalomo, Joab is fled into the tent of Jehovah, and behold, he is by the altar. Then Shalomo sent Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, saying, Go fall upon him. And Benaiah came to the tent of Jehovah and said unto him, Thus saith the king, Come forth. And he said, Nay, but I will die here. And Benaiah brought back word unto the king, saying, Thus saith Joab, and thus he answered me. And the king said unto him, Do as he hath said, and fall upon him, and bury him, that thou mayest take away the blood which Joab shed without cause from me and from my father's house.
Now, I could be wrong, but somewhere in the Torah it says, even if someone has committed a sin that's worthy of death, that even from the altar or from wherever, he said, you will kill him right there.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, you being in a holy place doesn't deter your judgment coming upon you.
Right.
If you did that which was evil, that judgment is going to come upon you right there. All the priest got to do afterwards, come out and do the sanctification and clean up the place and get the red heifer and get the waters of purification and clean it up. But you doing evil, don't stop the judgment coming upon you. Didn't the sons of Aaron die sending up strange fire in the holy place? Right. A fire that God did not ask of them? Something that God didn't ask them to do. So the execution of the law, it doesn't matter where you're at, it's going to happen. And this is what's happening to Joab at this time. Let us go.
32. And Jehovah will return his blood upon his own head, because he fell upon 2 men more righteous and better than he, and slew them with the sword. And my father David knew it not. Abner the son of Ner, captain of the host of Yisrael, and Amasa the son of Yeter, captain of the host of Yehuda.
You hear that? He killed Abner after David made a pact with Abner and told Abner that as long as you bring me my wife back, that we good. And he killed Amasa, who was the captain of the host. So it says that the righteous is as bold as a lion. Joab was a warrior most of his life. But now he's cowering away. You know why? Because the Most High God takes away that spirit of courage when you're doing that which is wrong. A wicked person, courage can't enter a wicked person. But when you're righteous, it doesn't matter how skinny you are, how small you are bold as a lion, and the Most High God will deliver you out of any situation. Right? Why? Because you're walking in righteousness. Because you're walking with integrity. See, Joab had no integrity. Joab was just looking out for self. But for David, he was a needed evil. Check that. David, I think Joab went through a sewer system to go conquer a city. Yeah. But you could be that, but once you start playing your cards wrong, then judgment has to come upon you. Let us go. 33.
So shall their blood return upon the head of Joab and upon the head of his seed forever. But unto David and unto his seed and unto his house and unto his throne shall there be peace forever from Jehovah.
So he said, man, take care of him right there. Yeah. I don't care that he's holding on to the horns of the altar. Execute the judgment right there. Let us go.
Then Benaiah the son of Jehoiada went up and fell upon him and slew him. And he was buried in his own house in the wilderness. And the king put Benaiah the son of Jehoiada in his room over the host. And Zadok the priest did the king put in the room of Abiathar.
You hear that? So Zadok the priest became Zadok the priest.
Took the stead of Abiathar.
Yeah, he took the stead of Abiathar. The king put in the room Abiathar, and Jehoiada, and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada became the captain of the host. So at this time, he's solidifying his kingdom. It's like how a president gets his cabinet, he gets his secretary of state, he gets his general, he gets all his people established in order to have his government run smooth. This is what's happening here. Let us go.
36. And the king sent and called for
Shimei
and said unto him, Build thee a house in Jerusalem, and dwell there, and go not forth thence any whither. For on the day thou goest out, and passest over the brook Kidron, know thou for certain that thou shalt surely die, thy blood shall be upon thine own head.
These are the 3 people that King David told Solomon, make sure that they don't go to their graves in peace. Make sure that their hoary heads don't go to the grave in peace. He said to Joab he said to Shimei, and the other guy was who was the other guy? Where's that card? It was another guy in there, but those were the three guys that the Most High God told him, don't let their heads go down into the grave in peace. And this right here is the execution of what the Most High God told, what David told his son to do. So Shimei is the guy who cursed David when he was on the run, from Absalom, his son. And he told him, you son of a, he called them and he cursed them out. Threw rocks at him, spat at him. And David's nephews wanted to fall on him. And David said, leave him alone. But so David might have forgave him at that time, but he never forgot. And now the judgment, he left it up to his son Solomon to execute him. So Solomon told him, build you a house here in Kidron and make sure that you don't leave. It's like somebody telling you, build you a house in Brooklyn and don't go to Manhattan, don't go to Queens, don't go to the Bronx, don't go to Staten Island, do not leave Brooklyn. This is house arrest for you.
Right.
So let's see if he follows the orders. Let's go.
38. And Shimei said unto the king, the saying is good. As my lord the king has said, so will thy servant do. And Shimei dwelt in Jerusalem many days.
And Shimei dwelt in Jerusalem many days. Some time went past. So he was comfortable. You know when somebody first tell you to do something and you feel comfortable in it, he might tell you, hey, don't go into that cookie jar. Or they tell you, don't touch this, don't touch that. And some time go past and you figure, oh, that don't apply anymore. But let's see what happens.
39. And it came to pass at the end of 3 years.
3 years went past. Oh, Solomon gotta be sleeping. He's not under, he must be sleeping. He can't be upholding that thing anymore. Let's go.
That two of the servants of Shimei ran away unto Achish.
They went to Achish,
son of Maacah, king of Gath.
Gath,
And they told Shimei, saying, behold, thy servants are in Gath.
Thy servants are, they came to Shimei. Listen, your servants are in Gath. That's the land of the Philistines, I believe. Let's go.
And Shimei arose and saddled his ass and went to Gath to Achish to seek his servants.
He went to look for his servants. Let's go.
And Shimei went and brought his servants from Gath. And it was told Shalom that Shimei had gone from Jerusalem to Gath and was come back. And the king sent a call for Shimei and said unto him, did I not make thee swear by Yahweh and forewarn thee, saying, know for certain that on the day thou goest out and walkest abroad any whither, thou shalt surely die. And thou saidst unto me, the saying is good, I have heard it.
He swore before the Most High. That's what locked him in. He said, I swear, because at the time, you figure that the king gonna take your head off, and you figure I'll say anything to get out of this. But at the end of it, he thought the king went to sleep. Somebody came back to the king and told him, this guy, they got snitches all over the place. You got snitches. I mean, people will snitch on you for whatever you do. Somebody told, listen, king, because they want to get in good favor. Listen, king, I got to tell you something, a nice little thing that'll make your ears tingle. Let me tell you. Remember Shimei? Yeah. What was the decree that you gave him? He said, bring out the scrolls. Let's see what was said on that day. And he swore that such and such and such. Well, let me tell you something. He went to Gath. Now, I got about 3 witnesses that could confirm that to show that he went against your word and went to Gath. Because, you got haters everywhere. You got people that hate on you, so they're going to tell on you regardless. Really? So this is what's happening here. They kind of snitched on the guy, but he gave his word before God. So once you give your word before God, you are locked in. And he didn't respect that word. It says, use not the word of Yahweh thy God in vain. Don't swear falsely. Right. And this is what he did. He went against the word that he gave. Let us go.
43. Why then hast thou not kept the oath of Yahweh and the commandment that I have charged thee with? The king said moreover to Shimei, thou knowest all the wickedness which thy heart is privy to, that thou didst to Dawid my father. Therefore Yahweh shall return thy wickedness upon thine own head. But King Shalom shall be blessed, and the throne of Dawid shall be established before Jehovah forever. So the king commanded BINAH the son of Jehoiada, and he went out and fell upon him so that he died.
When you do something to someone's father, that's why it speaks about avengers of blood. You see, when you do something to someone's family, there's always family out there waiting for you. So when you out there talking reckless, and you doing reckless things, or you telling people to do reckless things, and you think that it's going to go unchecked, you think it's going to go unchecked, you better check yourself, because everybody is not a nice guy. Everybody doesn't play nice.
Right.
Everybody is not taking L's. Everybody doesn't take L's. David took the L for the second, but David said, don't forget him.
Right.
So that means we ain't playing with a situation where it's just love, 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 love. You understand what I'm saying? So now the execution of the judgment is going to come against him because of the thing that he swore out of his mouth not to do. He did that exactly. Let us go.
Chapter 3, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And the kingdom was established in the hand of Shalomo. And Shalomo became allied to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, by marriage, and took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of Dawid until he had made an end of building his own house and the house of Jehovah and the wall of Jerusalem round about. Only the people sacrificed in the high places, because there was no house built for the name of Jehovah until those days.
So in those days, the people sacrificed in the high places because there was no house built to Jehovah. And I believe the tabernacle, think the tabernacle was up during the time of Eli, but I'm not sure that during this time that they had that tabernacle reared up. But the people was doing what they wanted to do, and the Most High God said, in the place that he put his name there, there shall you bring the offerings and the sacrifices. So the people were actually doing what they wanted to do. Why? Because this time they didn't have the order in line and the things that they were supposed to be doing. So people were sacrificing on their own, which was out of line with Torah. Let us go.
Verse 3. And Shalomo loved Jehovah, walking in the statutes of Dawid his father. Only he sacrificed and offered in the high places.
Only he sacrificed and offered in the high places. But he loved Jehovah. But the writer's pointing this out because it wasn't something that was right.
Right.
It wasn't something that was right. He was sacrificing in the high places, but it was not something that was right.
That's right.
Let us go.
Verse 4. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Shalomo offer upon that altar. And Gibeon, Jehovah appeared to Shalomo in a dream by night, and Elohim said, ask what I shall give thee.
So you see, it said he was sacrificing in the high places, but it didn't mean he was sacrifices of false gods.
Right.
It was just out of the order. You understand what I'm saying? It was supposed to be in a specified place, done by the specified people, which were the Levites, the son of Aaron, and it was supposed to be done in a certain manner. So the writer is specifying that Solomon was righteous, and he was righteous before God, but he was doing this thing that he was not supposed to be doing. So during this time, he's making these sacrifices, and now the Most High appeared to him in a dream. Let us go.
6. And Shalomo said, thou hast shown unto thy servant Dawid, my father, great kindness.
Great kindness.
According as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness and uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day.
As it is this day. Let's go.
And now, O Jehovah my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of Dawid my father. And I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people, that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude.
So he's communicating with God in his dream. He's communicating with the Creator. He wants something from God, and he's acknowledging that the Creator has done all this great for him in his life. So he's coming before God in his dreams. Let us go.
9. Give thy servant, therefore, an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and evil. For who is able to judge this, thy great people? And the speech pleased Jehovah, that Shalom had asked this thing. And God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern justice. Behold, I have done according to thy word. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that thou so that there hath been none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there have not been any among the kings like unto thee all thy days.
So, most people, when they get an opportunity to make a, let's say, a witch, you know what I mean? And you want to come and somebody tells you, you want anything in the world, just ask him. Most people will ask for money. Most people will ask for things that they never had an opportunity to attain. Make me look good, you know, make me be in the high places, make me come against my enemies, destroy all my enemies. Solomon asked for understanding to be able to judge God's people. And because he didn't ask for something so selfishly as to say, give me money, take away my enemies, God said, you know what? Because you asked for that, because you had love for the people, guess what? I'm going to still put the money on top of it.
Right.
That's the greatness of our King. So when we come before God and we ask God for things, ask for the right things.
Right.
Don't think selfishly, because a lot of times when we think selfishly, we're not thinking about others. See, this way of life, when we look at the Torah is how to deal one person with another.
Right.
The poor is going to always be in the midst of us. So what's the sense? You ever figure why sometimes you be like, man, I'm struggling. You know, things are not working out for me. And sometimes we figure, is God really listening to us? But Yah knows how spirits, man. Y'all know that if he make you hit that mega million for $500 million, that you're going to forget all your peoples. You're going to turn your back on all your peoples. Oh, I'm trying to be a rapper, man. You know, if I get in this business, I'm going to take care of all Israel. No, you're not. You're going to be out in the world making excuses as to why you could do shows on the Shabbat. You know, because I'm still spreading the truth out. So technically, it's like a teaching. I'm telling you, man, all types of stuff go through your mind. I'm saying, you know, it's like, you know, if they give me a Friday night show, I'm going to just do Shabbat songs. But they still pay you. But now I'm only do Shabbat songs. And then after the show, I'm going to go straight to my hotel room. You a lie. But when we dedicate ourselves to this way of life, when we dedicate ourselves to this walk, there is no going back. We might stumble along the way, but there is no going back. Because once you make that promise between you and your God, then you are held accountable for everything that you do afterwards. Yeah. Accountability is a big thing. Yeah. That's why when we read later and we read Solomon's life and the things that you see how it started out, his kingdom, that he was good before the Most High God. But after, when you read his life, you begin to see Solomon's flaws. He starts to build houses of worship for his women, to foreign gods. He started doing all the things that God told a king not to do, multiply wives. What you need 700 wives for? Why? What you need 300 concubines for? Why? He told the king not to multiply wives and horses, right? And Solomon did the total opposite, and keeping the words of the Most High God that he had for the king. So Solomon had to go through some experiences in life before he came back and acknowledged that Yah was king. So the Most High God puts us through things in our lives so that we could acknowledge and testify that Yah is king. See, you got to have that in your heart. If you don't have that in your heart, then you still have a little bit more to go. You still have to get that spirit, up to par. Let us go, my brother.
Verse 14. And if thou wilt walk in my ways, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father Dawid did walk, then I will lengthen thy days.
He said, if you walk in my statutes and my commandments like thy father Dawid did, then I will lengthen your days. That's important. If we walk in these laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High God will lengthen our days. That's important. Sometimes we look for riches, but the riches is in the life that God gives us. And he just gives us enough to live and not to suffer. That's riches. Because some rich people would exchange places with you right away. You know what happens to rich people? They get sued all the time. They got to keep 2-3 lawyers on deck. Every time people is after their money. Family that you didn't even know come out the woodworks. Yeah. People trying to kidnap your children. All these things. So is it really a happy life? But God gives you enough to where you got 2-3 cars, you got a house, and you living comfortably, but you complaining. You're already living a rich life, and you got knowledge of self. Right. Thank God for that. That's right. Be thankful to the Most High God for that. Right. Let us go.
15. And Shalom awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, and offered up burnt offerings and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants.
So he came to Jerusalem before the ark of the covenant and offered peace offerings and made a feast to all his servants. Let's go.
Then came there 2 women that were harlots unto the king and stood before him. And the one woman said...
So remember what he asked God for, right? What did he ask God for? Understanding. To be able to judge God's people. So now he's being put to the test right away. And let's see what the test says.
17. And the one woman said, O my Lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the 3rd day after I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also, and we were together.
They were together. 2 women were together in one house, and they both had children. Let us go.
There was no stranger with us in the house, save we 2 in the house. And this woman's child died in the night because she overlay it.
She smothered the child, and the child died. Let's go.
20. And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me while thy handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom.
Now every mother in here recognizes their child. Every mother, be like, hold on. After her eyes clear up in the morning and be like, hold on, this is not my child. And she look over there and say, no, that's my child. So this is the dilemma now. The woman, she smothers her child in the middle of the night. Right. The child dies, and she gets up in the middle of the night, switches the babies, right? Which is psycho in itself. Yeah, exactly. To think that, like, psychologically, what you're going to get out of that. Your child is really dead, but you're going to steal someone else's child. So at this time, she's like, no, this is not my child. This dead child is not my child. Right. The live child is mine. So back then, they didn't have DNA testing. They couldn't go down to a clinic and get blood drawn and find out who child it really was. So King Solomon, in his wisdom that the Most High God gave him, had to figure out a way in order to find out who really is the mother of the child, because it's he said, she said, my word against yours. And that's why things go to court. Because you got to figure out, you got to get all the facts, you got to get all the evidence and find out who really is in the right and who's in the wrong. Let us go.
Verse 21.
Verse 21.
And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had looked well at it in the morning, behold, it was not my son whom I did bear. And the other woman said, nay, but the living son is mine, and the dead is thy son. And this said, no, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spoke before the king.
Thus they spoke before the king. So she said,
Right.
And now the king has to figure it out. Let us go.
Then said the king, the one saith, this is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead, and the other saith, nay, but my son is the dead, and my son is the living.
Listen to what King Solomon is going to do. Let's go.
And the king said, fetch me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king.
Bring me a sword. Let's go.
And the king said, divide the living child in two.
Divide them into two.
And give the half to the one and half to the other.
And that settles it. Since y'all going to sit here and argue whether which child is who the child belongs to, bring me a sword, split the child in two, and now both of y'all will have a piece of the child, and we can finish this argument. And believe me, the servants went and got that sword, and then what happened?
26. Then spoke the woman whose the living child was unto, then spoke the woman whose the living child was unto the king, for her heart yearned upon her son.
Right.
And she said, oh my lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it.
A real mother is going to cry out. Let us go.
But the other said, it shall be neither mine nor thine. Divide it.
She was hating. My child is dead. Your child going to be dead too. She was a savage, actually.
Absolutely.
That's a savage way of thinking, because who wants to see a child? All right, my child passed away, but I don't want to see your child dead too. So it showed that back then, even back then, they had savages. She was a savage.
Right.
Kill him. So I'd rather that. Split him in half. So King Solomon said, aha, I know who the real mother is. Because no real mother will speak like that.
Right.
Let's go.
27. Then the king answered and said, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of Elohim was in him to do justice.
They feared him because they saw that the wisdom of the Most High was in him. Nobody would have thought to do that, because he wanted to pull out the truth from the situation, and that's how he extracted the truth, by doing something so severe that people thought he was crazy.
Right.
But he got the truth out of it. Chapter 4.
Chapter 4, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And the king Shalom was king over all Israel.
All Israel, no longer, well, at this point, it was, well, I'm getting ahead.
Yeah.
That's later in the story. I don't want to give it away because somebody has to teach it. Let us go.
Verse 2. And these were the princes whom he had: Azariah, the son of Zadok, the priest, Elihoreph and Achiah, the sons of Shisha, scribes, Jehoshaphat, the son of Achilud, the recorder, and Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the host, and Zadok and Abiathar were priests, and Azariah,
like I said, this is his cabinet now. He's calling out his government. Let's go.
And Azariah, the son of Natan, was over the officers, and Zabud, the son of Natan, was chief minister and the king's friend. And Achishar was over the household, and Adoniram, the son of Abda, was over the levy.
Over the levy. Let's go.
Verse 7. And Shlomo had 12 officers over all Israel, who provided victuals for the king and his household. Each man had to make provision for a month in the year. And these are their names: the son of Hur in the hill country of Ephraim, the son of Dekir in Makaz, and in Sha'albim, and Beit Shemesh, and Elon Beit Hanan, the son of Chesed in Arubot. To him pertained Soko and all the land of Hefer, the son of Abinadab, and all the region of Dor. He had Tafat, the daughter of Shlomo, to wife. Ba'ana, the son of Achilud, and Ta'anak and Megiddo, and all Beit Sha'an was beside Zaratan and Benayat Yezreel, from Bet Sha'an to Abel Mechola, as far as Belian Yokmeam. The son of Geber to Ramot Gilead. To him pertain the villages Yair, the son of Menashe, which are in Gilead. Even to him pertain the region of Argob, which is in Basham. 80 great cities with walls and brazen bars. Akinadab, the son of Edo, in Machanaim, Achimaaz, and Naphtali. He also took Basmat, the daughter of Shlomo, to wife. Ba'ana, the son of Cushai, in Asher and Be'alot. Yehoshaphat, the son of Peruah, in Yisachar. Shimi, the son of Elah, in Benyamin. Geber, the son of Uri, and in the land of Gilad, the country of Sichon, king of the Amorites, and of Og, king of Bashan, and one officer that was over all the officers in the land. Yehuda and Yisrael were many, as the sand which is by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.